Hey, hello and well met. Welcome to the pre-game hangout. These are some of the dungeon scrollers. We're still doing the split adventure, and tonight we are Team Witch Hut, is what I'm calling them.
Team
But
Power Quest.
Interesting.
Randy's calling them Team Power Quest. Okay. What do you want to call this team, Aaron?
I called it the home team when we were figuring it out earlier.
The home team. Okay. Yeah.
And the away team. Yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
we didn't leave.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
But I also demurred and said it was your problem.
Yeah,
Eric,
yeah,
so
that's true.
I accept Witch
fair.
Hut if that's, or if you choose Power Hunt, that's also fine. We don't have as easy an icon, I guess.
So thanks to everybody for showing up early. How are people liking this this split campaign thing that we're doing? Because it's a neat experiment for us that we hadn't been doing before. Answer in the chat. Woo!
I was gonna say, are you asking us or are you asking the chat?
I'm asking the chat. I think it's given us some opportunity for some neat storytelling. So,
I'm having fun. It turns out I kind of like DMing.
excellent.
Oh, excellent. Well, actually, like I was thinking, I like this sort of experimental storytelling, and I love to experiment like any chance that we can get with anything. So thus we did like play with the viewers at one point earlier last year, and I'd love to do more of that. But yeah, I was thinking like I feel like Rashomon is going super well, and it would be really cool if each of the players got to DM their own hometown adventure at some point. Like we could
That
each
sounds
go
like
to
fun.
yeah.
Nice.
I'm super curious what Steven would do with Sturge though.
The chat seems to be pretty positive about it.
I think one thing that's interesting is like with the Rashomon thing is like obviously a lot of this stuff revolves around Cecilia, but what my job is just to think of things that you guys want to do that would be fun for you, that would show off where your characters are and where they're going. So it's like I get that character bit in there, but then I also get to do like make Stong have feels about being a father moment.
Yeah, that was really good.
Oh, yeah, that
It was
was
very
well done.
naturally the bait was naturally out there. It was very nice.
Just like chum in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was quite a nice little hook there, and it also, well, I felt like I connected to the NPC. I don't know if the NPC felt like they connected with me, but I feel sympathy. I also really like that dude in the woods with the golden spear.
Fearful.
Yeah.
Fearful.
If only we could find out more about the dude in the woods with the golden spear. What happened to the golden spear? Who knows?
Oh, is that another hook? Oh, okay.
I'll bet that spear is a +3 spear. I'll bet that's a
Ooh.
+3 weapon, man.
Is that the meteor spear?
It would be kind of
Nice.
funny if all
I won't
of the
say- I'm not gonna
weapons I
spoil
handed out,
anything.
if all the weapons I handed out were +3 spears. You're just like, we want +3 weapons. I'm like, here you go, spear. Spear.
I take it, no complaints here.
I'm just saying, like, there's a whole wall of stuff in Igor's workshop. You play your cards right.
That's right.
I got a boatload of gold and some.
Grandpa will send you home with some good toys.
Oh my god, I love visiting grandparents. Just for the
All
gifts.
right. Daza said something a little unsettling in the chat, which I need to address. He said, currently I have a party running around in your Westgate. And I'm like, oh no.
Interesting.
Oh no, I need to get that Westgate book out. Oh no.
Oh no. Aren't
Wow.
+3 arrows kind of like, headlight fluid? Isn't like, because it's the bow now, right? Like you don't get plus arrows, do you?
Oh, you
Are
can
there?
get magical
Oh.
arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you?
Darts and
Oh,
arrows.
okay.
Huh.
I could imagine arrows that do effects, but I didn't know that they still had the plus arrows. That's cool.
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean,
You're
I would
really
take it.
funny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Any magic item,
Yeah.
I'd take it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Like,
not
we're
gonna
all
be picky.
getting +3 weapons, right? I'm like, yes, 6 +3 arrows.
Yeah. But you,
See,
yeah,
here's the terrible thing, Eric. You also let me DM, which means
Yeah.
I can also hand stuff out.
That's true. That's true. Maybe I should have thought this through better. Anyway, I realized looking
The
in
alchemy
the
jug is just the start. Actually, I will say this.
Oh,
I actually had tiered possibilities for that encounter for what you got from the Vodyanoi. And I
Ooh.
honestly was going to give you the best one just because your performance was like, you did it. But then you rolled and you're like, nah, the roll's bad. And I was like, okay, you get the middle one.
You know, I prefer to roll for things. Yeah, I'm totally in team like roll. You
That's
know,
fair.
because
I
like
would
even
have
if
had them. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
you know, even if we enjoyed it as like people, you know, you just never know how creatures like react to that sort of thing, and that's how I feel
Yeah.
like, you know, the dice dictates the
Yeah.
whimsical nature of strange creatures.
I would have had them
Non-human
say
creatures.
Volgianoi really fast as many times as they could correctly, and then wherever they mess up, that's the roll that they get. Like Volgianoi,
That's funny.
oh, you got 3.
You know,
Let's see
when
what
we
3
visit
is on the
Roger's
table.
hometown, that's
Yeah.
actually I was
What would you
super
make
happy
us?
with the
We've
alchemy
been
jug.
to some. I honestly, I kind of thought you might like that one the best because it is the kind of thing that gives you many options for lateral thinking.
Yeah, totally, and just chaos because I'm supposed to
Yep.
roll.
Yep.
You know, I realized I
Yeah.
hadn't looked up the alchemy jug, and now I am, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I hope you find fun ways to use it.
Yeah, I was thinking like every day in the morning he would just take a swig from it and then just like roll the dice and see what he gets.
Oh, mayonnaise!
A great way to wake up in the morning. Oh, if he has pancakes or something, maybe he'll pour some on or pour something, you know, pour a little pour every morning.
So, for those of you who tune in for the pregame chat, I wanted to share a little forthcoming secret. We have been talking about like spin-off games and experimental things and fundraising events and whatnot. And we hit on this idea to do a game that is a collision of Star Wars and the Westgate Irregulars. And so I have been making Star Wars Westgate Irregulars characters, and it is hilarious. I've been enjoying it greatly. One is Sustong, the Jizz player. He is
Right.
he is a Wookiee Jedi who plays music.
I feel like you need to
Trivia
define that
time.
on the air for the people who don't know. Just
Well,
so
that's a
that they're
kind of
clear.
Star Wars music, obviously.
Yes.
What do you think I was talking about?
Yeah, that
And
is
then
like
there's,
the official Star Wars music.
Then
Yeah.
there's Kraben Minok Gleer, who is also a Jedi, but he's a Rhodian. Or he could be something else, but he's a Rhodian for now. It's just, it's awesome. I didn't really have much of a story about that, just that I'm having a good time
Well,
doing
I
it.
hope that he's like a Rhodian that has a long nose, even for Rhodians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
everybody else looks at him, they're like, "Oh my god!" Like, "Oh, he's just a Rhodian, I guess." But the Rhodians look at him, they're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, even the Rhodians are like, that's too long. Yeah.
Are those
Did
the
you
only
guys
two
hear-
you've made?
oh.
Oh,
Those, well, I made a version of Artemisia, and that's as far as I've gotten so far.
yeah. For those of you who don't know, take a look. Just go Google what the type of music that the alien band is playing in the cantina in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And just read up on the history of it and just be bewildered.
Yeah. At the amazing bad choices one person can make.
Yeah. When you surround yourself with yes people,
Yeah.
all kinds of terrible things can happen.
Yes. I mean, no. I mean, right. Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that they're releasing the gold box D&D games on Steam here at the end of the month? I'm pretty excited about that.
I did hear something
Azure
about that.
Bonds and Pool of Radiance and
Like,
Mhm.
are they updated in any way, or
Yeah, they have like I think they have some features that help you with mapping, like do the mapping for you and other
Mm.
things like that. So and like you can pull up like the spell list, and so you don't have to memorize all the like characters and all that kind of stuff. So that's my understanding. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Azure Bonds. Me and my friend Jeff, we'd spend hours on the Commodore 64 playing Azure Bonds.
Oh,
To date
nice.
myself, and we'd have we do the floppy save trick where like we'd transfer characters and between floppy disks and then be able to exchange magic items and duplicate them. We figured out all the ways to like manipulate that particular system of yeah, that's them's was the days when I was a player back in the day, I'll tell you what. But
I
yeah,
like those old games for that. It was pretty
Yeah.
easy to like modify it yourself if you knew how to like open any of the configuration files.
yeah.
Are you gonna get together with your old buddy and have like an adult sleepover and relive some of
lives
those
in-
glory days?
He lives in Jersey now, so I don't know about that, but maybe we can get together online and
Yeah,
do
through the
something,
power
yeah.
of the internet.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, I never could get the old. I remember when I was a kid, I bought one of the Dark Sun games for my old computer, but I could never get it to run properly. It always crashed at a certain point. So maybe this is my chance to go through and actually beat it this time. But I hear that they are really super brutal, so maybe that's just a pipe dream.
I seem to recall playing. It was one of the Dragonlance games, and I think it was the one in the middle, which is like Dark Knights of Krynn or something.
Mm.
And we started the game like 20 times, and we would always get to this one particular battle and just get massacred at this battle. And rather than going back to a previous save state, we just, I guess, started all the way over again. And I'm not sure why.
What?
We were just like, no, these characters were terrible. Clearly, we needed to do better with our team creation. I think
Yeah,
think
more
when we
magic
played-
users. Sure.
Yeah, when we played the game, we were more interested in building parties than actually playing the game.
Ooh, I feel that.
How much time did you spend like clicking the reroll,
Oh,
reroll,
Every
reroll?
character would get at least 1 hour of that.
Yeah.
Yes, for the perfect stats.
Yep.
Oh, I miss that in like the old like Daggerfall games, like the arena games too.
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I remember when I was young, I wasn't great at making parties mechanically, but for some reason I loved making parties of like all fighters, and I thought it was really good for some reason.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was pretty brutal. Maybe that's why I didn't do so hot in Dark Sun. Maybe all these
Yeah.
things are coming together.
You know, you could win the original Final Fantasy with just a party of fighters.
Oh, yes,
Like-
yes.
You did not have to have any magical support, although your fighters would, in theory, eventually become paladins, and so they would have magical support, but very minor, because you get your defense stats so high that anything that would hit you would just do like 1 point of damage with every hit. And you just
Yeah.
like chip away at things until they go down, regardless of how strong they are. And
Yeah,
it was amazing.
yeah. And Excalibur was like one of the strongest swords in the game. But
Yeah.
but for real though, like how many of us tried an all thief team in Final Fantasy just so we could have 4 ninjas that were all like dual wielding the most powerful swords? You just attack every turn.
Mm.
I
Pretty
did
cool.
not play these growing up.
Aw,
we didn't have the cool,
sorry.
we didn't have the cool systems.
What was your first
Also-
RPG or first video game?
I think when I was in college, I played Chrono Cross. Is that
Ooh.
Yeah,
a thing?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I kind of remember that. I didn't get all the way through it. Yeah,
You're
when I was a
missing
kid,
much.
my mother was very strict about how much violence we were allowed to consume, and I don't know what she thinks when she reads my books now because it's pretty violent. Because so it didn't work like that, but yeah. So anything that was like really, we got to play things like Donald Duck's Quack Shot on the Sega. And then when I was older, I just wasn't as into it.
So I've never
We
played
had
that
a
one.
Macintosh.
I haven't played that one, but the old Disney games were super freaking hard. Like that is my clearest memory from those systems. Like all the Disney games were just gorgeous and they were so friendly and inviting, and they would
Yeah.
just be brutal to you.
My friend
don't
Seth designed a
remember.
couple of those, the Lion King and the Aladdin games.
Oh, the
Well,
Aladdin
the Lion
game!
King's supposed to be really bad, really hard, isn't it? I didn't play that one, but
Yeah.
Yell at your friend for me for the Aladdin game, especially the Cave of Wonder with the freaking flying rug and the lava.
Yeah.
Okay.
oh wait, that sounds familiar. I mean, we usually we did not buy them; we rented them from Blockbuster.
Oh,
so I got like a
yes.
week to figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Unrelated. So my friend Seth, he's moved now, but when he was living here, he I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. So he asked me to be like a wingman with him at like he was Jewish, and there was like a Jewish singles mixer thing, and he didn't want to go alone, so he asked me to be his wingman. And I remember the dirty look they gave me at the door when I said my name was Henderson. I think they didn't appreciate it. So it was weird. But yeah, it was a very awkward but interesting evening. Everybody was. I don't know why I brought that up. Sorry. Anyway, it just memories.
Sorry, I was trying to
all
connect
these
back to
memories
video
flooding
game.
back. Yeah. No, it was just this random memory. Sorry. Anyway,
So when I was in college,
awkward.
we
Awkward.
had-
What's the awkward wingman moment for you?
it wasn't an awkward wingman moment. When I was in college, we had
I
this.
just remembered what it was so bad.
Oh yeah.
had this-
See, like, just,
All right, never mind. Go ahead. We're talking about
My
wingman
friend-
stories. You
My
win.
friend was getting divorced, and she wanted to go out, and she was kind of bemoaning the fact that she wasn't going to meet anyone. And so I went out with her, and I was like, "Go ask that guy, right?" I really I kind of bigged her up, and then she went over, and the guy said, "I'm not interested, but can I have your friend's number?" I was so mad, I almost went over there and threw his drink in his face because I was like, "That was tacky as hell." But then that was awkward, so I bought her another drink.
Well
It got
done.
okay for her, but that particular evening was really awkward fail. But it's that guy's fault.
Yeah, clearly.
But I still feel really bad because I would have liked to go throw his drink in his face.
Chat says they want to hear my story. Can I tell
Yes,
my story?
please.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
absolutely.
sorry.
So,
Yeah.
so this is back to the video games aspect, because we've split off into two avenues: one about video games and one about being cool.
Was anybody cool at any point so far?
No. I said you heard the quotes, right? Cool. Anyway,
Cool spot.
so
Are you
when
talking about
when I
Seminole?
was in college, we had this competition. Since I was in a triple my freshman year, so I had two roommates. We had this competition where each of us would play a different Final Fantasy game, and whoever completed the game first would win. And one of my roommates was tasked with playing Final Fantasy VI, and I was tasked with playing Final Fantasy VII, and one of my other roommate was kind of tasked with playing Final Fantasy VIII. Okay. And I won, obviously. I actually played and completed all three of them before either of the others completed their games. Obviously. But
Obviously.
my
Okay.
my friend who was playing 8 just gave up like an hour in. He's like, I'm running around this stupid school and I can't deal with it.
Yeah. I was just thinking how boring 8 was. Plus, you have to just put the rubber band on the controller and just draw Ultima for an hour.
It has its moments. But there were some improvements that could have been made.
Okay, so the recap today is about 5 minutes long, and we want to run that and then a 2-minute ad spot. That means we have to start making our closing remarks about now. So does
Okay.
anybody have any final stories that they want to add about wingmanning or video games or Final Fantasy?
Video games are cool. Wingmanning is silly. Play video games.
Oh, wingmanning isn't silly. If your friend needs you, neat.
Helping your friend develop confidence is good.
Yeah.
That is true. I will.
And
I will
helping them
concur.
find love is good. Rogar definitely would say helping them find love is good.
Don't be smarmy in any of these avenues.
Right.
Yeah. And maybe if you go to a bar, buy like the cheapest drink on top of your regular drink so that you always have a throw-in drink at hand. You have your
I
sipping
like
drink and then you have your
that.
throw-in drink.
If there's one thing I can tell past Aaron,
Yes.
Right?
I think college Aaron would not have dared. She would not have dared get angry. But that's why I like grown-up Aaron better sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when you have 2 drinks, you'll be double fisting for love, you know. You have a real purpose. You're not an alcoholic. Okay.
Right. And tip your bartender very well and tip them up front. Like say, here's this is for the evening. And then they'll be sure to like, you know, when it's all crowded, they'll be sure to like give you your, you know, when you won't have to fight as much, everybody, to get the bartender's attention. Trust me.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, we'll see you after the recap and the ads.
All right. Don't go away.
All right, take 2 with captions. Let's see how this works. So, from the Running Rocks, the Irregulars and Sebastian decided to head out to try to find these faceless witches, or the witches that didn't have markings on their masks. It wasn't long before they encountered another group of people, made up of berserkers and wizards from the Running Rocks, who were kind of roughhousing and wrestling with each other by the river. Stong got really excited and ran down and even started wrestling one of them, with their permission, of course. And they managed to build at least a nice rapport with the group. One of them even told them about what had happened, or at least what he knew of what had happened with Cecilia and Lazar when they'd been taken by the witches to prison for, for many reasons. One of which was Cecilia being discovered to be a woman and not a man, which was kind of a big no-no. Not helped by being a half-elf, because they generally frown on non-human blood. It's not great. Apparently, according to hearsay, Lazar managed to blow out the side of the building, of all things, and that's why they were able to escape. No one's quite sure what happened after that. There was rumors about Cecilia being taken by the elves in the woods, but, you know, that's probably not true, maybe? It's hard to say. While they were talking, Sturge noticed someone moving across the river in the woods, and so he brought out his familiar Tiny, a little owl, to try to follow them. Well, one of the wizards kind of noticed and dispelled Tiny basically immediately. Rather than make things even more awkward, they made excuses about needing to head back to the Running Rocks for some food, and once they were out of earshot, Sturge had Artemisia bring out Mitzi, and then helped her be all extra stealthy so that she could give pursuit and scout a bit. Following that, they did return to the Running Rocks to actually get food, and, over dinner, Sturge tried to play wingman for Artemisia, and jury's still out on whether or not he actually helped or not, but hey, success for Artemisia, I guess. But Mitzi did message back with some information on what she'd seen, and so they went out to try to find the strange person and the spirit, potentially spirit, in the woods. Of course, on their way out, they reached a bridge that would have taken them into the woods across the river and ran into one of the kind of more crotchety old wizards who didn't want to let them across and apparently had been standing guard and wanting to appease the local spirits. And their attempts to ingratiate themselves to him didn't really go over too great. He seemed to become more suspicious and ultimately urged them to go back, stay out of the woods, and if they had questions about Cecilia and Lazar, to take them to Brother Igor. It was the talks with Igor where things got really interesting, though. Not only did Sebastian notice some similarities in appearance between Igor and Lazar, which he didn't enlighten anybody with yet, mind you, so keep that under your hat. But they noticed a axe within Igor's workshop that looked a heck of a lot like the axe that Cecilia summons when she brings out her pact weapon. In pressing Igor for some more information, not only did they find out that Igor was actually Lazar's father, of all people, but that apparently this story about him destroying or killing a boar spirit had some veracity to it, and apparently he hadn't just killed it, he'd used magic to siphon the magical energy from the spirit, or at least that's what Igor is saying, and Igor's suspicious that he might have done the same to Cecilia, and possibly others. Well, Sturge put forward the rather fascinating idea that Cecilia of the alternate timeline, the Golden Raven, might have managed to get access to this magic and use it on Lazar first. Or at the very least, she's been using the spell to siphon magic from other beings, and that's how she's stealing power from gods and other versions of herself. So, that's not great, but, well, we're running out of time, and the witches show up soon, and it doesn't sound like they're too keen on our friends, so I guess we'll have to see how that goes, won't we?